It can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering paranormal.
He meddled in things that should be so
Form
He
of
meddled in
slug.
things. He meddled in
Where will we go next? It's phantoms from another time.
No one but the mother.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
It's
Happy New Year!
not all of it has to stay in.
All right, so
Happy New Year's, everybody.
It's New Year's, and you've decided you have nothing better to do on the first day of the year than to listen to Cryptid Campfire. So
or
thank you.
you're starting the year off right by getting some cryptid knowledge.
Yeah, you're
And-
starting it off right.
Yeah, that's a more positive way to put it.
What we're trying to say is, welcome to Cryptid Campfire and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, y'all.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Alex,
And I'm Eli.
and today we're going to be talking about...
Melon Heads.
I was gonna say Cryptid Campfire again, but I won't.
So, what the hell is a melon head?
You know, I don't think anybody really knows because there are so many dang origin stories for these creatures,
Well-
beings, people, children, ghosts. I don't know what's going on.
Well, there's a lot of origin stories,
A lot
but
of
we all
hearsay.
agree on what they look like, which is small humanoids with bulbous heads who emerge from hiding places to attack people.
Or do they?
That's not part. I don't know. I just threw that in there. But they have big heads and
Big
little
head.
bodies.
That's
Little
really
baby
the
bodies.
only distinguishing factor of them.
And one source that I have, so they're completely bald.
Yeah.
With misshapen, bulbous heads, usually deformed arms and legs, teeth like daggers,
Okay.
apparently, and
Daggers.
luminous red eyes, which is dubious.
Yes, the description I got is similar to that as well. Extremely large, misshapen heads, often hairless, with deformed limbs, razor-like teeth, and glowing red eyes. So, essentially the same exact thing that you just said, except you said daggers and I said razors.
Oh, big difference.
Well then,
So, what the hell are these things from?
All over
Michigan,
the place.
Ohio, and Connecticut.
Yes.
Connecticut.
Now, for those of you who don't know or don't remember, I am originally from Ohio.
Ohio.
Oh wow.
Yes, so I was.
So you've seen a melon head.
I have not.
How many melon heads have you seen?
0.
What did they look like?
I don't know. I've never seen one.
Or you could say it is nothing but melon heads in Ohio. I'm sorry, Jasmine.
Listen, you know what? I love Ohio.
You know what? I've actually been to Ohio. I was thinking about that the other day because my grandparents live in Kentucky. And once we couldn't get a direct flight to Kentucky, we landed in an airport in Ohio.
Did you go to the Cleveland airport
I think,
or the Canton airport?
I think it was Cleveland.
Nice.
And then
I
we
hate the Cleveland airport.
we
Ooh,
drove from
sore
that
spot.
airport to my grandparents' house. So I have been to Ohio probably for like maybe an hour. But my entire life, I've been to Ohio for an hour.
Did you see melon head?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah?
His name was Dad.
So yeah, these melonhead people are apparently a thing in Ohio. Being from the state, I had never heard of them until now.
Where are you from in Ohio?
I'm from Ohio. I
Ohio?
will not.
Are you anywhere
It-
close to Cleveland?
I am an hour south of Cleveland. I don't know why I'm keeping this a secret.
it's-
I'm from Canton, guys. Canton,
Oh.
Ohio.
I was really hoping it was like a small town called Ohio.
No,
in
no.
Ohio.
In Ohio?
I mean,
So you're like, I'm from Ohio.
Canton is a small town, but we do have the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which I've never been to, but that's our like claim to fame. And then Ohio, Cleveland has a bunch of crap, or not crap, but a bunch of famous stuff. But yeah, Canton's just known for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But these melon heads, there's literally 1, 2, 3,
I got 4 origin
4.
stories.
Yeah, there's like 4
And we're going to go through all of them.
origin stories. Okay, which one would you like to start with?
Let's start with Michigan.
Michigan?
No,
Okay.
no, since we're talking
I-
about Ohio, let's go with
Yeah,
Ohio.
sorry,
But I-
Michigan, you're taking the back seat.
Like always.
Yeah.
You were so with it. You were like, yes, Michigan. No, Michigan, no. Get out of here.
You said you have 4 origin stories, but the 3 that I have are from Ohio. Like there's 3 Ohio stories, and then
Well, if
There's
you
a
don't
couple
mind,
others.
I'll read my Ohio one first, and then we could figure out
okay, go.
the rest. Okay, so
Let's crack this melon open.
so there. Okay, wow. Cleveland, Ohio, in the suburb of Kirtland. Now, do you know where that's at?
Nope.
Have you been there?
Nope.
How many melon heads did you see?
So
I should have looked at a map. I should have looked it up right now.
Yeah,
All right,
let's see.
so they were originally orphans under the care of a Dr. Crow, also known as Dr. Melonhead. I got that. I don't know.
And sometimes his name's spelled different ways.
Yeah,
There's like a good 5 or 6 variations of crow.
yeah.
There's one where it's just a regular crow, like the bird. One with a K, one with an E in it. One that's K-O... Oh, no, K-R-O-H-E.
Yeah, I don't.
And then also Dr. Melonhead.
Yeah, Dr. Melonhead. So Dr. Melonhead performed unusual experiments on children, which resulted in them getting large deformed heads and malformed bodies. It's theorized that these kids were suffering from hydrocephalus before that, which is extra fluid in the brain, which causes your brain to, well, not your brain, but
Your head to swell up.
swell up. So, and it says that Dr. Crow injected more fluid into their brains.
Just to see what would
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, I guess. And then the kids got sick of it. They killed Dr. Crow. They burned down the orphanage and live in the forest and supposedly feed on babies now.
It doesn't say what the fluid was, right?
No, it just says fluid.
Do you think it was like high C?
disgusting.
Why?
'Cause they're melon flavored heads.
They're melon flavored heads.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't with you.
He put Hawaiian Punch in there.
So, is that the only story on Dr. Crow that you found?
Well, the other ones that I got are from different states.
But do they involve Dr. Crow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Connecticut does.
Is one of them? Does your other Dr. Crow stories paint Dr. Crow in a different light?
As a good guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
So there's another theory that apparently the research I did, this theory was only found in Ohio, but according to Eli, it's the same in some other states. But there is another legend that says Dr. Crow was a nice guy. He and his wife lived in an isolated cabin in the woods, and he was asked to care for a group of children with, how did you say the name of that?
Hydrocephalus?
Hydrocephalus.
Yes. So he was asked to care for these kids, and they were called melon heads by mean-spirited locals who were just bullying them and things like that. So it's said that while assisting her husband in caring for the children, Mrs. Crow began to see how the nickname was hurting the children's feelings, so she drew the children closer to her, protecting them from the outside world. And so they looked at her like their own mother, and they loved her and all of this stuff. But then Mrs. Crow died. I didn't have any information on why she died, if it was natural causes or exactly what happened. But either way, Mrs. Crow passed away, and so the children panicked and began running around and thrashing about the cabin, which caused the fire that burnt the house down and killed Mr. Crow and everybody else. But instead of escaping, all of the children also died, and now the melon heads that are seen are the ghosts that remain in the forest.
Interesting.
Wow, I did not get that story.
Yeah, not at all.
No, really?
Yeah, that's some
But
wacky Ohio
I
stuff.
think I read the beginning of that story, and then I was like, I'm not into this. I'm into the evil Dr. Crow.
Yeah.
No, I like the good Mr. Crow, like the tortured souls type of thing. Like, I like the idea that the melon heads aren't evil; they're just distressed,
They're
and
just-
sad, and
No.
roaming the forest looking for their mother.
And then there's the third story that Dr. Crow is actually a man-sized bird.
There is there's a alternate ending to that same story where when Mrs. Crow died, the children got angry for whatever reason. Like they couldn't handle the pain going through the, what is it? How many steps are there for grief?
Seven griefs.
7 stages
Seven
of
stages
grief.
of grief.
They were just stuck with anger. They were stuck on anger, and so
It really went to
they
their heads.
purposefully set fire to the house, but they escaped, and then they reproduced, creating more deformed offspring, passing down their insanity as well. And they were blamed for numerous attacks and some kidnappings. Some accounts say they stole livestock, pets, and even children, using them as a food source. So all of the legends kind of combine. Like, it's like you can pick and choose which part of the theories
they
you like the
kidnapped
best.
livestock and children. But really,
I mean,
what's the difference?
Lots of asylums.
Yeah, there's it's Michigan
They have the Junction Insane Asylum near Felt Mansion.
Yeah, Felt Mansion.
Yeah, and then
Which I imagine is made all out of felt.
yeah, well, apparently there's no even record of asylum there. So
The town erased it to cover the truth.
right, because all the Melon Heads were physically and emotionally abused.
Oof.
And then they turned feral and were released into the wild. No joke. That's the
No,
story.
I know. It's just the phrase "released into the wild."
Well, they turned them into animals.
Yeah.
Released them out there. So
Well,
they
there
put
was
them into a watermelon patch.
they say that they live in the underground caverns.
Ooh.
Somewhere in there. I don't know if there's anything to that story.
There's also a story for Ohio where this is like your typical conspiracy theory where it's like it was just the Melon Heads are a result of a secret government testing that involved strange experiments on human subjects, and then all of the Melon Heads were shipped to a secret location in the woods in the middle of the night. But they were a passive people, so every once in a while they would, want to have human contact, so they would leave their commune and creep through the woods towards civilization, which is where, people would supposedly see them or have sightings of them. But then just a glimpse of the outside world would be all a Melon Head would need to send them running back to the safety of their little town. So there's literally so many versions of this story. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Melon Heads.
We're
But
talking about the Melon Heads.
I know, but there's so many. Like, they're good, they're evil, they're children, they're dead, they're ghosts,
they're
they're
complicated.
creatures.
They
Allow
are
me
to
to try to break down
All
some
right.
of this. Actually, I'm
Please
just going.
educate me.
I'm going back to the story because you didn't let me finish my story.
I didn't?
No,
I'm
I
so
still had
sorry.
one more sentence left.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Please
Well,
finish
it's
it.
good anticipation.
Yeah, it is. It's a build up for the end.
The end.
Well, I guess it's a variation of the one that I just read about the one in Michigan,
Yeah.
but this
But once
ti-
again, Michigan's in the back seat.
right? No, it's still Michigan.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's behind Ohio now.
basically, the kids they killed the doctor who physically and emotionally abused them. This one is not associated with Dr. Crow, I guess.
It's Dr.
Just some
Dove.
unnamed dude, and so they killed him, but then they had no place to hide the body, so they
Ooh.
cut up
The
his body
pieces.
and hid it around the mansion.
That's disgusting.
It's a
and,
scavenger hunt.
I guess some teenagers, they broke into the mansion and they said they saw the ghosts of the children.
Oh, yeah. I did read about this.
And they saw the shadows of the doctor's murder through the light coming from an open door,
Ooh.
which sounds dope.
Yeah.
And the video I watched for it, this dude went to the mansion and was like running around in there.
Field trip. Here we go.
Yeah, we're going to Waterhead Melon
To
Patch.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Where are they at in Ohio? Oh, they're in Kirtland.
Kirtland.
We're going
Which
to
is an
Kirtland.
hour and 7 minutes away from my hometown of Canton. It's a 4-hour walk if I really wanted to do it, but don't wait.
Let's
no,
do it.
That can't be right. 4 hours?
Yeah, what the heck?
Nope.
That was
That's wrong. It's 4 hours on a bus.
Ooh.
Public transportation, 4 hours. If I walk, it would take a whole day.
Good. That's what we
yeah,
want.
Yeah, get some exercise, get those miles in. Let's see, what else we got
Connecticut.
going on here? Yeah,
I
what's
got
up,
Connecticut.
what's up with Connecticut?
Basically the same story. An insane asylum got burned down, but this one has the fall of 1960 attached to it. So there's some years going on.
Yeah, I didn't find any dates for
but-
any of my stuff.
Mostly in Connecticut, it seems to have dates attributed to it.
Yeah,
There-
but the insane asylum burned down with all of the people in it,
Mm.
except for there's 10 to 20 that were unaccounted for. which they say they resorted to cannibalism to survive the winter. And then
Great. Now we got Wendigos too.
also at
Yeah.
the same time, they were inbreeding.
Yeah.
Which, if they're eating each other, if there's 10 to 20 of them,
They're all
the-
brother and sister.
well, I'm just saying, like, it's not a whole lot of people to go around. So that if they're eating and, you know, making babies with each other, it doesn't calculate. Doesn't make sense. There would have to be more.
I mean, how many meals can you get out of one person? That's the
what-
question we
what's
have
the-
to answer.
What's the gestation period for a melon head, too?
Well, I'm assuming, like, okay, so if there's 20 of them, right? And if you kill someone, right? Now there's only 19.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
one
and-
person is going to have to be spread out amongst 19 people. So it's
Mm.
going to go pretty quick.
Mhm.
So,
That's true.
yeah, and now someone doesn't have a partner, so you have to kill them too. It's a whole thing.
The math doesn't add up, guys.
But here's one that I don't know if you guys have, but
Probably not, because I've already discussed all of the research I was able to find.
right. Okay. So another story in Connecticut is that they're the descendants of a colonial era
Oh, I
family.
got this one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
The-
I don't know if you want to finish it.
Let's see. Another theory: the melon heads date back to colonial times, and they were members of the Shelton Trumbull family tree.
Oh.
Which is
There's a road named after that, right?
there's 2 Connecticut towns.
Wow.
Yeah, named Shelton and Trumbull. In this variation of the legend, Shelton Trumbull clan were exiled on the charge of witchcraft, and their only chance of survival was to seek out shelter in the woods. And once again, the melon head's disfigurement is attributed to inbreeding and feeding off anyone who wandered through their new home.
And here's the thing about that story too, is that I don't think that was possible. I feel like that was a story that was made up more recently because witchcraft was like not tolerated in the colonial times. It was like, we're not banishing you on witchcraft, we're gonna tie you to a rock and throw you in a lake kind of stuff. It wasn't, you know, so like they were banished. Like I wouldn't want a witch running around my town.
Especially
like,
with a big swollen head.
yeah, exactly. So I don't think there's, I'm sorry if you believe this story.
Well,
I don't know what to believe. I would like to
you wanna-
believe that they are the tortured souls of children who were cared for by Dr. Crow.
and his wife,
Yeah.
whose name was...
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You want to hear the craziest story I got?
There's
Dr.
another?
It's not an origin story. It's a
Okay.
sighting.
Okay, good. I would
We're-
love to hear that because I could not find any sighting
Sightings?
Real
stories.
quick.
Okay.
Dr. Crow and his wife's name was Canary. Canary Mary.
I can't even laugh at this anymore.
Continue.
Okay, so I'll tell you the shorter one first. And it was that this guy was driving on a road on
Whoa.
Dracula Drive, which
Oh,
I
okay.
guess we'll get into, right?
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Dracula Drive.
Right, and so this guy was he was going 45 to 60 miles an hour, which is
That's a large
it's a large
scale.
range, right? But apparently he looked out his window and saw a melon head running and keeping pace with his car.
Was it on 2 legs or on 4
It
legs?
was on 2.
Oh, man.
But the really crazy story, I love this story so much. Okay.
I'm looking.
I
You're
have to
building. You're
I have
building
to
this up.
I have to relax.
You're going to
Are you gonna-
hyperventilate. Are you
are you
okay?
gonna-
It's so ridiculous.
Did you read? Did you write it down verbatim?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So, well, not verbatim, but so it's the 1980s, and some girls from Notre Dame High School in Fairfield decided to drive around after a Friday football game.
Okay.
Right? They got into
I can't even. Do
All
you
right.
want me to read it?
no. They got into a blue Granada, right, which is a car, and they ended up in Velvet Street in Trumbull, which we'll get into Velvet Street. It's also AKA Dracula Drive. And they knew that, so they get out of the car to go look for some melon heads, right?
Yeah.
So they leave the headlights on, the keys are in the car, right? It's the middle of the forest, no one's going to take it, right? And so after traversing about 100 feet into the woods, they hear the car door slam, and the car starts driving towards them, right? And this is where it's great, because inside they could see children-sized melon-headed people.
They stole the car?
They stole the car.
Grand Theft Melon
And
Head?
amazingly enough, they were able to tell what they were wearing while inside the car. And they said they had rags for clothes, clothes and an orange glow in their eyes.
Okay.
And then the best part of this story is the final sentence, which is, some say that they still drive that blue Granada.
Still drive that blue Granada.
So they got away with the car.
Yeah, I guess, back in the 1980s.
That's hilarious.
They walked out. They heard the car slam. They look over. The car drives by. It's playing Lowrider, and the Melon Heads are mooning them.
How did they know how to drive, though? That's my
Who
question.
knows?
The bigger head becomes bigger responsibility to know more.
Right.
Yes.
But I guess people have seen eyes at night
Mm.
in the woods.
Typical.
People have heard voices in the woods.
People have eaten melons in the woods.
There was that. I gotta find it now. You remind me of something. I gotta look it up.
Let's see. So while Eli's looking that up,
It has to do with Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Do you know he's an actual cannibal?
Shia LaBeouf.
Creeping through your window.
Shia LaBeouf.
Let's
I
see.
waited in line all day on Valentine's Day in the year of 2014 to try and go into Shia LaBeouf's I'm Sorry exhibit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I got to the front door and then they closed for the day.
And you got to the front door and they said, "I'm sorry, the exhibit is closed."
Essentially.
Okay, so
I ask myself why I did that, why I spent Valentine's Day sitting on a sidewalk in Los Angeles, California, but I didn't have anything better to do that day. So, why not?
I mean, that's like the time-old question of like everyone who comes to LA. Why am I sitting on the sidewalk?
so this was a couple years ago, according to TMZ.
Oh, we got some sources.
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
TMZ Cryptid?
No. What?
Oh.
No.
Oh no, we're talking about Shia LaBeouf. I was.
Shia LaBeouf.
You said TMZ, and I was like, oh, they had like a Melon
Cryptid
Head
stuff.
sighting.
No.
Like, what?
No, it has something to do with melons, though. So it's
Oh,
Shia
okay.
LaBeouf got a restraining order against some chick because I guess she showed up at his house eating a watermelon in his driveway. And when he asked her to leave, she screamed, "I'm going to blow up your house. I'm going to blow up the world. You are Albert Einstein and we belong together."
What?
Whoa,
And she was eating a watermelon.
that is
But
amazing.
how was... I really want to know how she was eating the watermelon. Like, what, like literally.
She was
Was
eating.
she just holding a giant watermelon and digging her face into it? Was she like eating a slice of watermelon? Was she eating a wedge of watermelon? Did she have one of those cups from Ralph's that had cubed watermelon in it?
I would imagine, based on her declaration, that she was eating a whole watermelon with the rind and all.
Just like
That's how I
biting
would-
into
like
it?
chewing into it, just screaming. That is pretty awesome, though. I feel like Shia LaBeouf would get that like tattooed on him after it. I'm gonna blow. What was it? What was
I'm
the?
gonna blow up your house. I'm gonna blow up the world.
world.
You are Albert Einstein,
Einstein.
and we belong together.
Oh man, that is pretty. That is pretty amazing. That's really poetic too.
Oh
So,
man.
Dracula Drive.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
I guess it's some road.
That Dracula drove on?
Well, there is no road called Dracula Drive. So
It's I guess mostly Connecticut based. They got a bunch of legends about like an old dirt road running through Melon Head territory.
Melon.
Melon Hood.
Melonheads live in Melon Hood.
So I got some roads that are attributed with Dracula Drive here. We got Sawmill City Road in Shelton.
Shelton.
We got Edmonds Road in Oxford,
Only Edmund can drive on it.
right? Velvet Street in Trumbull and Monroe. I guess it goes.
I guess it runs between Tashua Road in Trumbull and Judd Road in Monroe near the eastern border.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would.
just that way, so you know, you just keep going a little bit to the left.
Just so
you're
you have
gonna
some
hit
context.
the Velvet Road.
Right, and
Don't
then
you know?
I also got Marginal Road in New Haven.
My favorite is if we're looking at the same list, one of them is just the roads around Lake Mohegan and Fairfield. Like
yeah, just the
not
road.
even a distinct road, just the roads. One of them roads is Dracula Drive.
Makes sense.
My favorite one too is Jeremy Swamp Road. In South
Jeremy
Barry.
Swamp.
They're just like that that like American charm in just naming roads, just the dumbest names.
Right.
Just so quintessentially American. Just up on Jeremy Swamp Road. And
Well,
what up?
I guess we could. I don't know. We don't have to keep going down this list of roads. I think there's like 12 of them on there.
Well,
I'm sorry. What do the roads even have to do with? Is this where
Well,
Melon Heads have been sighted?
Yeah.
That's the roads that run through the Melon Hood.
Melon.
Yeah, these are the roads.
But like I said earlier, I mean, maybe I didn't deep dive far enough into the internet to try and find sightings of Melon Heads. But what was it I researched and I found like erotica? Like, I'm afraid.
What?
No, remember?
No, yeah, I remember.
Oh.
It was one of the episodes.
One of our episodes, I tried to search something
Was it
sightings,
the
and it was
Flatwoods
like
Monster?
I don't
Oh, was it
remember.
Krampus? It was Krampus.
Was it?
It was our last
It was
episode.
Krampus. It was Krampus.
Ah.
I typed in like, oh, I remember what I typed in. I typed in "taken by Krampus,"
Oh.
and that was a bad
Oh,
idea.
no.
So
You're
now,
like, oh
now
my
I'm afraid
God.
to like look up sightings of anything
Taken by Melon Heads?
Taken by Melon Heads. Oh.
You know what is funny too? There's an alternative name for Melon Heads.
Wobbleheads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so just wobble heads. It's like
Because they
they're-
can't keep their balance.
yeah,
wobbling
they're all
around.
They're
wobbly.
top heavy.
They're wobbling around.
It's great because it's like, all right, we're gonna do some cryptids this week. We're gonna talk about these things called melon heads,
It just sounds.
and like the name is just so dumb. But then also they're called wobble heads, and it's just like they can't get a break.
They can't be taken seriously.
No.
Oh, these poor malnourished, deformed ghost children
Well,
that
I
were
got-
raised by a crow.
Right.
Not a crow.
Well,
Dr. Crow.
I got some possible explanations for these
These
them there melon heads.
them
So-
juicy fruits.
The first one is kind of etymological, which means words.
Words.
Oh, I think I know where you're going.
Melon head comes from. They say that it comes from this word called Melungian, which is a mixed race of people in Appalachia. I think that's somewhere in America. Basically, they have the ancestry of European outcasts, freed slaves, and Native Americans.
So basically, it's like a slur.
And basically just people like Melungian kind of turned into melon head, I guess. Also, I got that melon head story started after World War II, like when they started building all the suburbs,
Mm-hmm.
and people started moving out into suburbs, and they started encroaching on all these rural territories, and it was like a way for like these ex-city folk to explain their fears about like people who like live out in the backwoods.
Okay.
So they started calling them melon heads.
The hillbillies and such.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically what I got. I think that's probably the most realistic.
I mean, if you look at it, the one where they're ghosts sounds more reasonable.
Mm-hmm. And I like that one better.
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
happy stories. I mean, tragic, but happy.
No, I want the melon heads that escaped, that are feral and they eat babies.
They're inbreeding and eating babies. And
Yeah, all of that.
They got razor dagger teeth.
yeah,
And they
those ones.
steal.
And they steal cars.
They steal cars.
Yeah, they're driving around in a blue Granada right now.
that's the best. Is the blue Granada. Like, if you guys don't know what a Granada is, like, we'll post a picture of it on Facebook and just picture like swollen-headed children driving around in it while they eat babies.
Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
They go through the drive-through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that's it for this episode, huh?
Melon
Yes.
heads. Real? Yes. Dangerous? Extremely.
Extreme.
If you live in Michigan, Ohio, or Connecticut, lock your doors, lock your windows. Be aware.
Beware.
Them watermelons out there.
The watermelon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is a good start to the new year, I think. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
How you guys feeling about
I
think-
2019?
I think it's gonna be a good year. I don't know why. Just
Well,
saying.
We're doing Bigfoot month later this year.
Oh yeah,
so
something
I'm
to look
pretty
forward to.
excited about.
If we can survive the upcoming nuclear destruction that the world will probably bring, we'll have Bigfoot month to look forward to.
Yes.
I feel like this was a fun, upbeat way to start the year, though. This was an interesting topic.
Yeah,
Not a
yeah.
lot to it.
It's-
More fun than anything.
Kind of a wobbly start.
On the
Wobbly head start.
on the way over to record today, though, I did say that these are my least favorite that we've researched so
So
far,
far.
just because they're so inconsistent. Like, where did this even come from?
They're so.
I told you, prejudice against backwoods people.
I guess so, but
This really is like one of those metaphors that people just think is real.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, the Wendigo, it's just stories we tell kids so they don't, like, eat people.
but the Melon Heads.
But the Melon Heads.
You gotta watch out for
Just
them.
old-timey, like, racism that's
Yeah.
also insane children.
But
Well-
you can find me on Neopets if you look up Water Lemon 28.
Water Lemon 28.
Water Lemon 28.
That's all I could think about when we were researching this. Is that
2019.
my
the
Neo-
year of Water Lemon 28.
my Neopets username was Water Lemon 28. Why? I don't know.
Because you were secretly channeling your
The
Ohio
Melon
State
Heads.
history of
The
Melon
Melon
Heads.
Heads. That's what it was.
Awesome.
So,
Thanks for listening, guys.
Wait.
Oh,
what-
sorry,
First
premature.
of all, thank you for listening, everybody.
Yes.
And where can you find? Say I have a question about a Melon Head, Ohio, or just anything in general. Where could I find you?
well, if you want to ask me about anything that has to do with Ohio, go for it. I probably won't know the answer, and don't ask me about Melon Heads because clearly I've already said all I know about them today. But you can still follow me and talk to me on Twitter at JasmineMaeW. That's JasmineMaeW.
Awesome. And what about you, fella? If I had a question about, I don't know, like movie history, old-timey racism that's in Ohio due to hillbilly people.
Yes.
I want to ask you a question. Where could I find you?
You go find me on Twitter, boy.
Oh, yeah? What's your
Yeah.
Twitter handle?
It's at EJ Workshop, so it's spelled how it sounds.
Awesome. And I'm Alex Daikaichi. You can
Also spelled how it sounds.
You can find me on Twitter at Alex Daikaiju. You send me a question about anything you want. I currently have 3 followers at the moment. I had 4, but one of them died, I guess. So.
Well, if he died, he wouldn't have been able to unfollow you.
I
so-
know.
It was his estate.
The estate
The estate
didn't look
unfollowed.
too kindly on the following, and they took it down. But yeah, thank you for listening, everybody. And just want to end on a really good note. We got some feedback, and we are ranked number 15
in Malta.
in Malta.
I don't know what that is.
Malta's a country.
It's a small
Oh.
Italian country, I believe.
They're not Italian, they're Maltese, okay?
Oh,
And
Shout
they've
out
so
to you.
sorry.
They've been conquered by just about everyone in the world. I watched a 10-minute video, a brief history about Malta, and basically everyone who's ever conquered anything in history has conquered Malta at one point.
And we
So-
have 2 because we're number 15.
We're number 15.
All right.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Happy New Year.